that they played with you with the job, with not informing you. So you see how you have to be informed about everything that you do? And he had a question, and then I'll come to you.
It was kind of like more of a statement. Like, would you tell everybody that's in here, like, while you're in college to start a business, like, you don't have to wait until you finish?
That's what I was telling you. I don't care what it is. I told you, if you turn your hat that side and everybody want to buy it, sell it. But an entity like that would require tax deductions. And so you would want to make sure that you have your tax entity straight. So that's a simple matter, and it doesn't cost that much. You can go to a tax person and make them a friend and find out, how could I do this? And you can start reading about starting a business. And then you may take some time, a year of gaining knowledge, and then you do it. And then when you graduate, junior to senior year, then you start your business. Or you can set your plan right now for you're going to get a job. When you get that job, you're going to be looking for that extra business. You'll always find a need. I found a need just sitting here looking at you young people today. You'll find it. Needs will be starting coming at you. I'm an artist. So you'll see needs coming all the time. Figure out that need, test it to see if people will buy it. How do you test it? Blog it. Talk to people about it. Ask somebody to buy it from you. Simple. That doesn't cost you anything, right? You can do that. So try that. Try experimenting with your ideas, but find it. And then there's something magic. I can't foster this to anybody, but I would just say, could you go to YouTube? I can't even tell you to do this, but there's something that's invisible that exists all around you. Some people have declarations of a name, but it's ineffable. It means I cannot put a word to it, but it's very powerful. So you make your decisions what you want to call it and what you're going to do with it in your life. But find some paradigm, a guiding force for you to be able to go through adversity. Did you have it when you came to college? Some people said, oh, I might not succeed. But what did you say? Oh, but I'm going to try really hard. Commit to that the same with your money, and it will give you the same yield as acquiring your college degree. It's called effort exchange in the universe. That's how it works. So you make sure that you're doing your duty to yourself. Don't expect everybody else to love you. You love yourself, right? Okay, put in Dr. Paula Newsom. DR. And this will be the last thing, and I won't hold you anymore. NEW. Okay. SOM. ME. Yeah. E. First one. Go back. Newsom. There, she's right here. Third. She said, don't let anybody paint you into a corner, and this will be my last word, because she defines the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur, and she's right here in Charlotte. You can take down her address. She welcomes, she's my very good friend from childhood, lived across the street, attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with me, and she stated that she's putting this out because she wants you to use her. You go by, you see her business, and you ask her things. This is how you network and find people that will give you answers, and it's just having the nerve. Nothing to it. If you see somebody that's good at something you do, how you do that? Find out.
So on mute.
Private entrepreneur education program, which I also volunteer for.
Dr. Paula Newsom, the first African-American female member of the American Academy of Optometrists, has an office right here in Charlotte. After an eye doctor's appointment following high school in her hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina, Dr. Newsom knew she wanted to be a doctor.
Well, I always knew I'd be a doctor. I just wasn't sure what type. I've always been very good in sciences, and in particular the biological sciences. However, I went and got my eyes examined before I entered the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill that summer. And I had an eye exam, and it was just the most fascinating thing I had ever experienced. And after that encounter, I decided that I wanted to be an eye doctor.
Today, her practice is thriving. In the middle of uptown, in an office building she not only works in, but also owns.
Yes.
Dr. Newsom says that in order to go from dreaming about your career to actually achieving in it, you have to make wise decisions early in your life.
I made sure that I was very, very committed, and I had a block of time every day that I devoted to studying. I would be in class from 8 in the morning till roughly 5 in the afternoon. I'd come home, I'd eat, lay down for a minute. At 7 o'clock, I was in the library every evening, and I was there every night from 7 until 11, Monday through Friday.
After graduating optometry school as one of the top students in her class, Dr. Newsom served in a residency program. This led to teaching, which she says is one of her most valuable lifelong contributions.
After I finished my residency, however, I then went to the University of Missouri, St. Louis, and I taught people how to become eye doctors. I did that for about a year, year and a half before I went into private practice. I chose to do a residency because I always wanted to teach. When I was going through my academic training, I saw very few people who looked like me. And I have a passion for children in particular, and I have a passion for transferring knowledge.
After moving to Charlotte, Dr. Newsom went from employee to employer when she opened her practice here. It was one of many firsts in her life.
And in order to really prepare me to be a business owner, I went to Central Piedmont and I took every course that they had in the Small Business Center. I went to Queens College, I took macro and microeconomics. I'm constantly taking courses on how to be a better entrepreneur. And I've gone from business owner now to entrepreneur because, business owner, if you're not there, you don't make any money. I can leave. I just got back from China not too long ago, and the practice still functions. So I am now an entrepreneur. Thank God. Hallelujah.
Successful Entrepreneur is just one of the latest in a string of firsts for Dr. Newsom.
You know, when I was growing up in Wilmington, I was one of the first African Americans to integrate schools. I wasn't in the very first year, I was in the second. So I was called the N-word, and I was found, and all of that. And for me, breaking barriers has just been something that is a part of life.
She says there are 3 specific things you should do when you discover something
These are her
you
opinion.
enjoy
I don't
and may want
necessarily
to make a
espouse
career
them,
out of.
but please listen
I
for
would
its
tell you,
redeeming
first of
value.
all, to find out as much as you can about the subject. Second of all, I would say try to find somebody who's doing that which you like or something close to it, and try to shadow them. The third thing that I would say is make sure that you understand that whatever you think it is that you want to do is written on paper with a pencil. And if you decide that that's not really what you want to do, erase it and go on and write down the next goal.
Dr. Newsom says that one of the secrets to her success is something we all have equal access to.
Well, see, that's why I think that you've got to have a good, strong spiritual foundation, because I think if you don't have a good, strong spiritual foundation, you'll fall for anything. And when you know who you are, but more importantly, whose you are, you're grounded. And as long as you're grounded, you know, God said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And I believe that. And so when you go, you earnestly pray, and I don't know if we can talk about prayer, but I'm going to talk about prayer because it's an integral part of my life. I do believe that God is there with me. I don't think I can fail. I think that there will be setbacks. I think those are just opportunities to reassess the situation, learn the lesson, and move on.
According to this entrepreneur, if you limit yourself, you lose. Here's her advice to a young man who visited her office recently.
And I shared with him a quote from Benjamin Mays. And bottom line on this quote is, you know, the real failure in life is not having a high enough aim. And if you aim too low, you're going to wind up with the chickens. But you got to soar with the eagles. It's always been my philosophy.
And never, ever settle for the status quo.
It's because it's out of the box thinking. You don't always have to rent. You can go down a different path. You can do things differently. Just because society says go to college and get a job, you can create jobs. And not only can you create a job for you, but you can create a job for others. So it's out of the box thinking that I'd like for people seeing this to get from me. Don't ever let anybody paint you into a corner. Whatever it is that you decide you want to do, you pursue it, and you pursue it with passion.
Okay, I'd like to thank all of you for being here this evening, and if there's anything that I can ever do, reach out to Quamir, or I'll give you my email if you're all interested. I have cards, and you can email me, and we can conversate. If you run into some quagmires, let me know. A little trouble in the road. And I'd be willing to give you knowledge, because I really want to see you be the X factor for me. Each of you that I have bestowed my earshot to, you are promising that you're going to forward and help others. Thank you very much.